What is the future boy about to go? We're back at it again. Oh great. I start up and it's already about to be ugly. Let me see, where's this death from above thing happening? I don't know where it is. It doesn't show me any place. Whatever, I'm about to get walking again. So, playing again more of this nonsense. But the reason why I chose to play this was because of there was something that was brought to my attention. It was uh um shoot, I'm trying to aim for this guy. What's that game?
Attention citizens, nuclear strike imminent. Please exit the area at your earliest
Where's this
convenience.
area that I'm supposed to be exiting?
Thank you for your cooperation.
Where's the area I'm supposed to be exiting? I don't see the area. Oh, it's all the way over there. I'm nowhere near there. Okay, that's fine. I'm good. So, sorry, I get easily distracted. Y'all know how I be with me. So, I was thinking about what people were talking about, um, the newest nonsense that Bethesda pulled up and worked up. And what I'm discussing today, I've thought about for a while, and I ignored it because to me, it didn't make sense. There was no real reason for this to happen. But as things kept happening, it started to show me that I might be right about this. So I've been asking myself, why in the world have Bethesda, who has been considered the ideal game studio, time and time again, why are they making such bad decisions? Because for those you who haven't played, Youngbloods is mediocre. It's not what everybody thought it was going to be. Then the whole issue with Doom has been just a travesty, and especially the new Doom and stuff. Right? I'm sure you know 1, 2, and 3 has been an entire travesty. It's just been mistake after mistake and mistake. We don't even talk about Fallout 76 and everything else. We're not even going to discuss that. We're not even going to touch about that. We're going to talk about these most recent decisions. Because, like I said, I didn't understand why. Why would they put so much of everything that they have and own at jeopardy, at risk? Because Bethesda was the ideal, they were the anti EA. Everything that EA was, Bethesda was not. Great game studio, very, very loved by its fan base. Treated everything right and passionate about making a game first and monetization second. So, let's talk about the two things. Let me go ahead and say one reason why they're doing this. I'm sure everybody can guess is because they have seen that everybody are trying to open up their own stores. Everybody wants their own store. We've all seen it, and they realize that there's a market out there. It's a market that can be pushed. In Bethesda's mindset, they're like, hey, we have some of the greatest games out there. Instead of putting them all to Steam, let's have our own place and let people come and pay money for the stuff that we have created. And initially, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Initially, because I thought about it, I said, yeah, that would make sense, but there's a problem with that. How can you how can you even dream about doing that when the quality of your work is so pathetic? And I'm not talking about the glitches and stuff. Nah, we're not even talking about the glitches. That's all irrelevant. We're talking about these piss poor quality of games that they have. How could you even consider putting out your own storefront if this is the kind of quality and content that you're going to try to give to your consumers, to your fan base? It doesn't add up. And so I kept thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for a couple of weeks, actually. It's not just the last couple of days. It's been a couple of weeks. So I became thinking to myself, How do you go from one of the most loved companies, forget game publishers and game developers, companies in the world, to this? Why would you do all of this to jeopardize it? And as various things start happening, I was like, this doesn't make sense. Then I started realizing I'm not thinking about this right. I'm not thinking about this as though they're a game developer, game publisher. I need to be thinking of it as though they're a business. So of course, like, so what do all businesses want to do? They want to make money. They want to grow. I mean, that's a given. So no, I don't fault them for that. Everybody wants to be in a business. Everybody wants to make headway. Everybody wants to grow. And as a business, yes, you should want to grow. You should want to make headway. You should want to be more than what you are. So again, just asking myself, I said, okay, so that again is a given. We're gonna ignore that. That's no reason to bring it up. We all know that. That's what they want. That's what they want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But it kept weighing on back in my mind. There's something that's missing. I don't know what it is, and something doesn't add up. So again, I was just sitting there thinking. The only reason to go so hard with this monetization, with the content, with your own platform for your game selling service that you're trying to do, is because you want people to find value in what you have. And I'm sure you're like, oh, well, duh, I could have told you that. Right? Yes, you could have. But that you. But the only reason to jeopardize or to put at risk all you have, to put it all out on the table, would be because you're thinking about or in the process of becoming a publicly traded company. And let's flip the script a minute and let's talk about Valve. Valve is a privately traded company or a private company. They're not publicly traded at all. They do what they do, and it doesn't affect anything, anyone, or anybody. Can I repair this? I don't have a base repair kit. Oh, right. You got to pay for stuff. That's why I didn't get any repair kits. Okay, that's what that was. All right. I'd have to find a repair kit. Okay, cool. That's fine. If it's broke, I'm gonna scrap it. Let me see. Is there anything broke? Okay. So Valve is a private company. They don't need anybody. They don't need anybody's help. But Valve was also a monopoly. Let's be honest. Valve was an absolute monopoly. Nobody had anything on Valve. Valve made their decisions by themselves. So whatever they wanted to do, they did. You don't have to answer to anybody. They were the only one that was a market, a decent market for your games. They're one of the only places, PC wise, that you could buy a game. Once you bought it forever. As long as there's servers, you can always get it back. But they were about the only one. They were the monopoly for that. Flip it to everybody else, and that was not the standard. That was not the case for everybody else. Everybody else, they were specialized, unique. So again, then I kept thinking to myself, why in the world would they want to be publicly traded? Well, let's look at the person that nobody wants to look at, the eyes that nobody wants to look at. EA. Valve is a public company. I'm sorry, Valve is a private company. They don't answer to anybody. EA, on the other hand, is a public company. They answer to a lot of people. While Valve has a lot in their favor, because they really do have a lot in their favor. While Valve has a lot in their favor being private, EA makes far more money being public. They make more money and they lose more money, especially when making stupid decisions. And they have to answer to so many more people. But when you make so much money that microtransactions can account for $800 million in a year, and that's not even the majority. That's a decent portion, but still not even 75%, which is the $800 million is like 23% of all their revenue. You're obviously making bank over bank over bank. And yeah, while Bethesda and ZeniMax is just like, yeah, we just want more money for all that they have put themselves in jeopardy with. Nothing else adds up unless you're trying to go public and get more money, have investors. Because it's easy to have microtransactions. The microtransactions are easy to have. But the microtransaction at what cost? I believe, I don't remember, I got to do more research on it, but I think Take-Two is private. I believe Take-Two is private. But EA is public. Take-Two puts good games first, then they do their little microtransactions second. All well and dandy. They also don't have to compete. Take-Two also does not have to compete with really with mods. They corrected that issue, and that while there are some mods, they have a games as a service type deal going on. We all know that. We all see it. But that's not with everybody, because Bethesda's variation on that has been piss poor. And so, yet, I think now, with how bad of a job they've been doing with everything, if ZeniMax and Bethesda was thinking about going public, they can't now. Now, from an investor standpoint, well, I'll take that back. They probably still could. From an investor standpoint, Bethesda and ZeniMax could still go public. It's very possible they could still go public. But the thing is, well, the reason why they can still go public, I'm sure you're looking at it like, there's no way in the world I invest my money in Bethesda. It's not about always making yourself look like you can do no wrong. It's about making yourself look like you have potential to grow. Especially being a public company. Especially being a private company that's going public. You can generate buzz. Like, yeah, they messed up pretty bad, but they're getting everything back together. So once they go public, everybody can say, yeah, you know what? They're not the greatest, but they make good quality. And people are jumping on board. They had growth. So since they had growth being private, let me dump my money into them now that they're public. Because yes, we're going to make up some money for them. We are going to have money for them as consumers, because that's what they do. Consumers are going to contribute money, because that's what we do. That's why you're a business. You're a business because you get money and you provide a service to consumers. Consumers want to pay for what you have to sell them. But that's only one portion of a whole. In reality, it really boils down to investors being the other portion, because once you got investor type money, then you can make better decisions. You can make larger decisions. You can take bigger chances, or you can develop content, or develop, in their case, develop software, develop more improvements to software, yada, 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 that works in your favor. And now you can make more money and then do more. And, just a cycle where you can have growth. What a lot of companies fail to realize is that you can't depend on unlimited growth, because this is what EA fails to realize. You can't depend on these tactics for, unlimited growth, because there is no company that's going to have unlimited growth. You're going to have a period. You might even exceed your period. somebody's going to pass you one day. I mean, Microsoft technically has a monopoly, or they had a monopoly. Then Apple came around, which incidentally, we're talking about that. Bill Gates, reason why he stepped in as CEO because he would have been in a monopolized position because he had stock in both Apple and Microsoft, which is why he stepped down. But he was aware of what he was doing, but it kept him growing. Jeff Bezos and with Amazon, they don't have a monopoly. This is why they have growth. They have more of a foothold, but they don't have a monopoly in that all they do is provide services in multiple fields. So he can't get sued for having a monopoly. He just has a very, very strong foothold that a lot of people don't. The only reason that makes sense is this. I thought about it so heavily, and I was like, before this most recent thing with Youngbloods and everything else happened, when I thought about it, I was like, nah, this can't be true. This can't be true. They're not going to jump. But then they kept making bad decisions back. That's the only thing that make that adds up. Because yes, the greed is there. We see the greed. We know they want the money. All of us know they want the money. But the risk that they're taking is too large. It's way too large. And then you check it by comparison. When we they released Skyrim so many times. They made money on a game that they had already released so many times. There's quite a few of us that bought it multiple times. I know I did. I think I bought it twice. Bought on Xbox and PC. And I was thinking that maybe the whole thing is because there's such a digital marketplace that even Xbox and everything has a digital marketplace, so you buy it once, you always have it. Then they just want to have the online store. I really thought that was the possibility, but again, they decision after decision, failure after failure. And I was like, only thing that does make sense. They are trying to be publicly traded. They're trying to go public. And I was like, well, so why would they jeopardize all this? Why would they really go public? It's got to be about money. Everything's about money. It's always about money. Ask EA. It's always about money. It will always be about money. The more money you have, the more things you can do. The more decisions you can make. The more chances you can take. And yeah, why it sucks. That's why I said in one of my other videos. It's over. The Bethesda that we knew is over. We can hang it up. Bethesda is screwed up so bad. Now it's just a matter of we're just here. Then we as consumers just gonna suck it up. Now I say suck it up, I'm not really gonna suck it up, but this is all we gotta deal with. There's no bright side. This is the bright side. Or rather, the bright side is behind us, man. It's over. It's absolutely over. Game over, man. We've lost. Everybody's lost. I'm just so depressed about it. Because for us, Bethesda was it. And it's behind us. It's going to be behind us. Nothing we can do about it. So depressing. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. I don't even know what the mission is. I care less. Collect the blood sample for somebody. But whatever. I'm probably gonna, after this, I'm probably gonna go back and play some Fallout 4, some Skyrim, do something else that's more enjoyable. Try to deal with this the best I can. After editing this, I'm gonna have to do some more comedy stuff. I don't know when it's gonna come into play. But it's your boy Bob Scoville. Like, share, subscribe, keep it gaming YouTube.